What's up, YouTubers? I'll show you today how to take apart a Tecumseh carburetor with a snowblower, clean it up. It's a old Craftsman. I'll show you how to take the carb apart, clean it up, put it back together. Sorry for the fan noise. It's about a frickin' 100 degrees in the shop here. So anyway, usually the older ones is a 1/2 inch for the bowl. Loosen that. Take the bowl off. Drain petcock, which I already used. Push the button. Drain the gas out. First thing you do when you get this off, remove your seal. Look at it. Make sure it's not cracked or messed up. Looks okay. And the bowl screw, if you can see it, there's a hole right there. You have to be able to see through that. It goes all the way through the other side. Very common for being plugged, and this one is. You spray some parts cleaner right through there. Take a pin or something if you don't have a cleaning tool. Get that clean. And then there's also a really fine little one right there if you see it. That has to be cleaned too. Again, if you don't have a cleaning tool, you can use a really fine needle. Again, spray and watch, make sure it comes out. There's nothing down inside there, so it's just this bottom hole and this top hole. Make sure those are clean. Put your gasket back on. What I do, I can put these together and take them apart, but I'm going to do this for reference of making the video. I take something, I scratch the side of the bowl, and I scratch the side of the carb. So when you take this apart, you know where to put it back together. Some carburetors have the bowl that sits lower. The float in there does, so this needs to be positioned right. I just do this so you know where it goes back. That's all. That's pretty much it. Okay, take the bowl out. You can see it's full of stuff. I'm going to spray some carb cleaner in this and let it sit on the side. We'll let this sit. We'll let that sit. This is just regular old carburetor cleaner. We'll let that sit, clean up. Next thing you do is pull your rod out. That holds the float assembly in. It's usually pretty easy to come out. There's your pin. Lift this up, and there's your seat. It's on the bottom of your bowl. Real common, this is an old carburetor, so you can see this has been soldered. Back in the day, when you got a hole in a copper float, they would solder it shut. Now, if you took this apart and you can shake this, if you hear any water in there, any liquid, then you know the float's leaking and it's getting inside. You can get a new one of these that are just plastic. I don't hear anything in there, so this is still sealed, it looks like. But it's been fixed a few times and soldered. That's because of the old of the machine. But now I'm going to look at the point on this. Looks fairly clean and pretty good. The new ones have a rubber down in there that seats to it. This is the older style, but this, I don't feel anything on it, and it looks to be in really good shape. I'm just cleaning this carburetor up, so I'm going to leave that at that. The rod that goes through, I just clean that up too. Look at your rubber seal. This one looks like it's starting to see its better days, but like I said, I'm cleaning this carburetor up, so I'm just going to reuse it. But then down in the inside port in there, stick my can, clean it right down in there. Comes right out the carburetor. That's cleaned. Same with the gas one. Should come right out here. Good and clean. I believe this port is for your primer ball. It also should come out in the center, which you can see it right there. This one is for the primer. Okay. As that comes out, that you'll see it squirt out that gas port in there. Well, these are pretty easy carburetors. There isn't much else to it. Blow, shoot some stuff through there. Shoot it through the hole down the bottom to watch where it comes out, and pretty much that one too. Basically, that's it. If it's really, really bad, you could soak it in a tank of cleaner, for the night or whatever. But anyway, as far as the float adjustment, I put it back together and then I hold it and look at it and see where it is eye level. But for this, put your needle back on the arm. See how it just goes across that arm there? Better to pick the carburetor up for this one. Just make sure it stays on that arm. Sets down into place there. You can lift it up and down. Make sure it stayed on there. And just take your rod. Run it back through. Well, make sure when you run this through that you look at the pin here. It has to be centered exactly. So you can see the seal has to go around that. If you got it like pushed over to that side, see how far that's sticking over, it'll cause a problem. So just make sure she's pretty close to centered. Watch your seal for the way you took it off. Try to put it back on the same way if you're reusing it. Now this is what I said about the seat. I can see the seat stopping right about there, which is about flat. You want the seat, you want the float to be level when the seat hits the very bottom down in there. And this looks pretty good. So I'm going to leave that at that. And again, your bowl, I'm going to clean this up a little bit and see that stuff in there was kind of gunky. Actually, this carburetor looked pretty damn clean. Had a little bit of stuff, but not too bad. I'm just wiping the inside of this bowl a little bit. Looks pretty clean. Like I said, you can see the drain here now. You lift that up, you can drain the bowl before you take it off. Now again, I marked this with a scrape right there. And I marked this with a scrape right there. So in reference, you know where to put it back on. And be right. Try to push it even on there. So you can see it goes on the seal all the way around. Again, look and make sure you're lined up once it's on there. You can move it a little bit if you have to. Make sure she's tight. Make sure your seal is back on your plug here. Again, these older ones are 1/2 inch. Maybe the new ones I think are metric. You don't have to crank this a lot. You'll feel it when it bottoms out, which is right about there. And just a little bit after that. That should be it. There's the choke. I could have took this cover off, but I didn't. This got a big old long choke, has to stick out for the motor's sake, but there you go. It's pretty much basically how you do it. If you have any problems with it, if the seal is broke, or if the needle and seat inside the end of the tip has black rubber, then you have to look down in where it seats in and make sure that little rubber's in there too. A lot of people put air on them, blow it, and it blows that seat out of the inside. I don't blow them out as a rule. I just use the carb cleaner and make sure they come out the other side. But there you go. That's kind of the hoedown on this carburetor. So with that, Bob's Lawn Service and Plowing, I'm out.